Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again, back with another Battlefield 5 tips and tricks video. And in today's video, we're actually going to take another look at improving KD because you guys really seem to like the last video I made on this one. And well, I had a few more tips that I thought I'd share. Now, just like I said in the last video, remember that KD isn't everything in Battlefield games, and you do want to make sure you play the objective whenever you can. But with that being said, at the end of the day, killing and trying not to be killed is obviously at the core of every first-person shooter, so hopefully these tips will help you to do just that. Okay, so to kick off, the first tip I've got for you guys today is make sure you change stance whenever you're about to engage an enemy. And that's because, well, in Battlefield 5, stance actually has a really big impact on weapon recoil, and so taking a knee now will help you to reach out and hit targets much further away. The other reason you should be changing stance in BF5 is because now with the new crouch run mechanic, movement in and out of stances is a lot more flexible. And also with the changes to spotting, unless you're already out in the open or being shot at by a sniper, for example, you can even feel a little bit safer going prone to hit targets at extreme ranges. Now, another useful tip, which you'll notice makes a really big difference, especially on a RAS, which you can see in this video, is to hold the high ground. And by this, I don't necessarily mean hold the top of a hill. It could be, for example, the top floor of a building, or basically anywhere else where you're looking down on the enemy. On a RAS, for example, the obvious high ground is the church, because from the walls of the graveyard, which are a little bit higher to begin with, you've not only got hard cover, but you've also got long sight lines covering almost 360 degrees. But just be aware that generally speaking, the more powerful a position is, the more obvious it's also going to be to enemy players. So just be aware of this when you're trying to hold down really obvious positions like, for example, bell towers. Another important tip that I want to give you guys that I find is really useful for improving KD is to use the big map to predict enemy spawn points and movements. And what I mean by this is that you can use the information it gives you about the state of objectives and the position of friendly forces to predict where the enemy is. For example, the obvious one is if an objective is flashing, then that's where they are. But also if you trace a line between hostile and friendly objectives, well, that's a good prediction of what direction they're going to be moving in. And also another way that you can use this, especially in CQB modes like TDM, is look for obvious holes on the map where the bulk of your friendly forces aren't, because chances are that's where the enemy team is going to be spawning. Now, the next tip I've got for you guys is you've got to know when to retreat, and honestly, this is something that I see a lot of players still having an issue with. Because just remember, the time to kill in Battlefield 5 is a lot faster now than in previous games, and so if you're at even a slight disadvantage in a gunfight, well, you're probably going to end up losing it. As a general rule though, I'd say always retreat or find hard cover if you've taken a shot or two, heal up and don't just re-engage from the same position. And also, here's another huge thing. If you don't get the straight up kill on an enemy and they run around a corner, obviously you don't want to follow them because if they're a half decent player, then they're going to know to go prone and wait for you to come around. But finally, the last tip I want to give you guys is a bit of a boring one, but honestly, it's probably the most important one for me, and that's to take a break. Because, I mean, you're not always going to be able to win game after game, and eventually you will be put on a terrible team and your KD is going to drop like a stone. If you're anything like me, you'll end up getting tilted, and I know for me that makes me play a lot worse, which adds to the tilt. And so honestly, if you do nothing else that I recommend on this list, if you're getting salty from a losing streak, just find a new game mode to play, or better yet, go do something else for 10 minutes, and when you come back, you'll find you'll end up doing a lot better. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this video, so make sure you let me know what you think of these tips and tricks in the comment section below. And also, if you think I've missed anything or you've got any other suggestions for improving KD in BF5, then make sure you let me know that down there as well. As always though, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and please feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. And don't forget, you can also find my Twitter and Discord links down there if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later and have a good one.